This is what I like to see. Dacia won't limit petrol car sales to meet the ZEV mandate targets. The brand's market share is up across much of Europe, but down in the UK. The mandate poses a significant challenge. The new Bigster put on a strong performance in the second half of 2025. Autocar News by Charlie Martin on the 20th of January 2026. Dacia won't limit sales of petrol and hybrid cars to meet the UK's zero-emission vehicle ZEV mandate. Its Vice President for Sales and Marketing has told Autocar. The mandate this year requires that 33% of every major car maker's sales are battery electric, else it will incur a £12,000 fine per ICE car sold over the threshold. Frank Marotti said that because Dacia is the most ICE-focused brand in the Renault Group, there will be a trade-off between some ICE models that we could sell and the BEVs that we cannot sell.
To be fair, it just shows you how stupid the ZEV mandate targets are. I mean, Dacia, they've just won Design of the Year with a little Dacia hipster, and I'd certainly have one of those. I think that looks great, and he's an ideal EV, ideal for town and city, which is exactly what an EV should be. Leave all the rest to petrol and diesel. You can actually lease a Dacia Spring hatchback 27 kilowatt expression for £1,524.72 down and 36 monthly payments at £107.06, which, to be fair, 3 years running a car for £5,000, you can't complain at that.
The Dacia Spring is the cheapest EV on the UK market, and they're still having to pre-register them and knock 33% off. There was a report out the other day that the UK, you can get the most discount on EVs anywhere in the world, and they said it was 23%, something like that, when in fact what they failed to realise is that the manufacturers pre-register them, sell them off as used cars, even though they're brand new with pre-delivery miles on, nobody's driven them anywhere, and they sell them off with well over a third off. Even the reporting on discounts on new vehicles, the people who are reporting don't understand the car job, don't understand the dirty tricks that are going on, and that's one of them. So they register them as used, massive depreciation on new, and then it puts pressure on all the other used ones, and they go down too. Although Dacia will be helped by the launch of a new electric city car based on the Renault Twingo and set to be sold alongside the similarly positioned Dacia Spring, it remains under pressure to increase its EV sales mix. Asked whether the Romanian brand will be forced to limit stocks of petrol cars, thereby improving its EV sales ratio, Marotti said, "It doesn't mean we're going to limit ICE sales, but we have to increase our EV sales. At the end of the day, we need to be compliant with the ZEV mandate because the penalties are too high and we have no intention at Renault Group to pay penalties." Marotti also hinted that Dacia could accelerate the development of new EVs, saying it needs more EV offers in our lineup, particularly for the UK short term. He added that the ZEV mandate is the forerunner for similar schemes that are expected to arrive elsewhere in Europe. Because it's gone so well? Do you think? I don't think so. Making compliance in the UK all the more important. As well as the mandate, the arrival of new Chinese brands and the consolidation of incumbent ones has placed constraints on Dacia's performance in the UK. Well, Dacia Chinese vehicles, yeah. There are plans to make them in Europe, but it was not an easy path for us in the UK, he added. Whew. Indeed, Dacia's market share in the UK fell from 1.61% in 2024 to 1.49% last year, defying its growth across Europe on the whole. Its share of the entire European market grew by 0.1% as it recorded a total of 697,408 sales. The Sandero Super Mini remained, James May's favourite, remained the brand's bestseller, and indeed Europe's most popular car, with 289,295 sales. That was down 6.5% on 2024, however, which Marotte attributed to shrinkage of the French and Italian markets that are key to the model's success. It was followed by the Duster SUV, whose 193,974 sales were down by 9.8% compared with the year prior. Marotte said this was due to market conditions and the competition of our lineup, the latter suggesting that some of its sales had been taken away by the launch of the larger Bigster. Well, they seem good value. There's a couple on the car park here that my neighbours have got. He conceded that the Bigster probably impeded the jogger, but added that Dacia has yet to gather sufficient data to confirm whether that alone was the cause of the sharp decline. The Bigster recorded 67,573 sales, a huge proportion of the brand's overall volumes, given that deliveries didn't begin until late June. On that evidence, it's possible that its sales could outstrip even the Dusters this year. Marotte added that more than 6 in 10 Bigsters were ordered with a hybrid powertrain, double the share in Dacia's smaller models. In last place was the Spring EV, although its 35,034 sales represented a 53% increase on 2024. The UK was a key driver for that rise, given that spring deliveries didn't begin here until November 2024, and this is one of Europe's most favourable markets for EVs. No, it's not one of Europe's most favourable markets for EVs. It's the fact they have an unachievable target and they have to pre-register them and sell them off cheap to pretend they've sold them. That's what it is. But even so, Dacia, they can't even sell the cheapest EV in the UK. They've got to pre-register it and discount it by 33%, and they're still not selling. You can't give them away. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.